Before we dive into the latest out of New Orleans, do me a quick favor and hit that like button on this video. It helps the algorithm get this news to more Who Dat Nation faithful. Also, I want to know exactly where the best fans in the NFL are watching from today. Drop your name and your city down in the comments section below so we can see how far the Saints network reaches. I have been tracking the situation in New Orleans closely, and what transpired Sunday afternoon at the Caesars Superdome feels like a pivotal moment for this franchise. We need to talk about Cameron Jordan. When you have a player who has defined the defensive identity of a team for a decade and a half, the end of a contract is never just a transaction, it is an emotional event. Sources close to the situation have indicated that the atmosphere against the New York Jets was heavy with nostalgia, not just because of the 29-6 victory, but because of what was happening on the sidelines and in the stands. Cam Jordan had a contingency of about 40 people, family, agents, friends, present for what could theoretically be his final home game as a Saint. When I see a player's wife printing out giant cardboard headshots and the whole family gathering for a Week 16 game between two teams with losing records, it tells me they are preparing for every scenario. However, based on what I am hearing and seeing on the tape, this does not look like a retirement party. It looks like a leverage play. Jordan is currently playing some of his best football in years. He has turned back the clock significantly this season. I've looked at the numbers, and they are telling a very specific story. Jordan has recorded 8.5 sacks this season. That is his highest total since his Pro Bowl campaign in 2022. He has 2 games left to reach double digits, a milestone that would mark the 7th time in his career he has hit that mark. For a defensive end in his 15th season, that level of production is rare, it is elite, and it complicates the decision-making process for the front office. Speaking with people around the league, the consensus is that pass rushers who can still collapse the pocket do not just walk away, and they certainly do not come cheap. Jordan made it very clear in his post-game availability that he wants to be part of this future. He explicitly mentioned the limbo he is currently residing in, stating he has never entered an offseason without a contract or guaranteed money on the books. That is a terrifying prospect for a veteran who has given everything to one city, but it is also the reality of the NFL business model. He is putting the ball squarely in the organization's court. He noted the young core playing at a high level, specifically shouting out Jonas Sanker, and emphasized the veteran leadership structure he shares with Demario Davis. This is a player who sees a window opening, not closing. And that brings me to the team context, which is arguably the most surprising part of this report. The New Orleans Saints are quietly one of the hottest teams in the NFC right now. I know the record says 5-10, but you have to look closer at the trend lines. They have won 3 straight games. They have swept the division-leading Carolina Panthers. They have beaten the second-place Buccaneers. Under head coach Kellen Moore, who was hired to revitalize this offense and culture, things are finally clicking. It has taken time. The first half of the season was defined by quarterback uncertainty and growing pains, but now with Tyler Shough stabilizing the position and the defense playing lights out, the vision is becoming clear. Moore has this team playing hard when they could easily have packed it in for draft position. That matters. When a front office evaluates which veterans to keep during a retooling period, they look for guys who buy in when the chips are down. Jordan has done exactly that. The fact that this team is only 3 wins behind the division leader despite a disastrous start suggests that they are closer to contending than the national media realizes. If they had found this rhythm in September rather than December, we might be talking about a playoff team. That is the pitch Jordan is essentially making to management. We are close, the defense is elite, and I am still producing sacks. Why break up the band now? The financial aspect will be the hurdle. I am told that Jordan understands the elder statesman role often comes with a pay cut, but his production warrants respect. He is in a conundrum where he cannot have guaranteed money without a contract, and the team has not sent one yet. This creates a high-stakes game of chicken heading into the offseason. If he hits the open market, there will be contenders looking for a situational pass rusher with 8.5 sacks in the tank. But Jordan's legacy is tied to the fleur-de-lis. The Saints have to decide if his locker room presence and current production value outweigh the need to get younger and cheaper across the board. However, looking at the way the defense swarmed the Jets, allowing only 6 points, it's hard to argue that Jordan is holding them back. He is catalyzing them. The mixture of Demario Davis and Cam Jordan provides a safety net for the younger defensive backs and linebackers to play fast. Removing that pillar could destabilize the progress Kellen Moore has built over the last month. My gut tells me that both sides want a union, but the numbers have to make sense. The salary cap is unforgiving, and sentimentality rarely wins in negotiations. But when you see a guy post a multi-sack game in Week 16 of his 15th season, you find a way to make it work. The Saints have 2 games left to evaluate this. Jordan has 2 games left to hit 10 sacks and force the issue. This is going to be one of the most fascinating storylines of the offseason because it deals with the identity of the franchise moving forward.
Are they rebuilding completely, or are they reloading for a run at the NFC South title next year with this veteran core intact? Based on the last 3 weeks, they look like a team ready to compete. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Saints should offer Cam Jordan a new deal to keep him in New Orleans for year 16, or is it time to turn the page and invest that money into the younger roster? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.